Hi YouTube, how are you doing? And welcome back to Phasmophobia. The developers just dropped an absolutely insane dev preview on us with the plans for 2024 as well as beyond, which includes the full release of Phasmophobia. Now, I've also asked CJ some additional questions already for clarification, so this video is going to contain all of the important information that you need to know if you care about Phasmophobia. But anyway, let's hop in right away. Welcome back. We've got some news for you. So this is work in progress. Things may change in the future. Roadmap. Stepping into 2024 means new beginnings and a new roadmap for the game. You may notice some changes on the new roadmap, one of which is we've removed any predicted dates for upcoming releases. So they've learned from the console shenanigans that they shouldn't really give clear dates because things are always going to change and it's always going to be hard to stick to the exact schedule that you said, like months ago when you didn't know all the hurdles you were going to run into. Secondly, there's a new section at the bottom of the roadmap. These new features, maps, and smaller updates will be pushed live as soon as they are ready without the need to wait for major updates. So that's super cool. This is actually when I first glanced at this, I was like, I feel like something is missing here, but then I saw at the bottom here and there's some really big changes there. Obviously, we're going to go over those. Lastly, you see that Horror 2.0 will be the last major milestone for the game, and that one takes us out of early access. This is the first time they've pretty much talked about actually full releasing and going out of early access and what that means for the game. This doesn't mean the development for the game will cease. Very important, as we'd like to still add more equipment, ghosts, and locations after 1.0 arrives. So we have version 0.9, 0.10, 0.11, which are the three updates before the full release. Then Horror 2.0 will be the full release, and then after that they're continuing to update. That's one of the questions I asked CJ just for clarification. But anyway, there's a lot more below here that goes into detail about some of this, but let's take a first glance at the actual roadmap here. So what do we got? Roadmap 2024 and beyond. Very important. So they don't, as they said, they don't want to announce any dates. So this doesn't necessarily mean that the full release of Phasmo will be in 2024. So first of all, version 0.9, which is the one we're already on right now. They want to continue with that one, and they want to do this, which is going to make a lot of people happy. The lighting overhaul, which is very much needed right now because the lighting is way too dark, which is one of the things that people, especially on the Reddit, keep complaining about, or I don't know if it's still, I haven't looked at the Reddit in a while, but it was a big contender a while ago for one of the biggest complained about things. And then this right here, eye adaptation or adaption, which is super cool. So what this means, CJ's already talked about this a little while ago, which was that you know how in real life when you're in the dark and there's very little light, your eyes will adapt to the dark, and then when you go into a bright area, it will suddenly be really bright. But if you're in the dark area, you can actually see relatively well after a while. That's what they want to add. So if you're in the dark, you can actually see better over time because your eyes adapt to the lighting conditions, which is super cool. Real-time GI, not exactly sure what that is. If you know what that means, let me know in the comments down below. Progression rate improvements, which is something they've talked about already. Right now, it is pretty much completely brainless when you buy the upgrades. As soon as you unlock something, you'll have enough money to buy it. You'll never ever run out of cash unless you are literally new to the game, which I don't mean to flame anyone for being new to the game, but with someone with even a moderate amount of experience, you will never ever run out of cash anymore in the game. It's just super easy. Because when I reached the highest level, level 100, I have I don't know, 200,000 that I've never gone to spend on anything. So I hope they adjust this slightly to actually not necessarily make it impossible to buy all the upgrades while you're going up, but give you some choices. Like when you go to a certain level, you unlock 3 upgrades all at once, and then you won't have enough money to buy all 3 of them, so you have to choose the upgrade path that you want to do for your play style. For example, I would never buy the tier 2 UV or tier 3 UV, and I would just spend my money on other upgrades. And then we have item tier adjustments, which I found kind of curious. I wonder if this means that they're finally going to realize that the tier 1 thermo is by far the best one, and they're gonna put that as tier 3 for some reason, which that would make no sense. So I don't exactly know if they're planning to make the different tiers better than they're for example, they're gonna upgrade the tier 3. I hope through all of this, they're going to buff instead of nerf, which is always something I'm a fan of. I'm a much bigger fan of buffing something that exists to make it better than something else than nerfing the thing that is good to make it worse than the thing you want to be good. Always buff instead of nerf. That's one of the common things you learn when you go into video game design, professionally in university or something. But anyway, shop version 3, which I already expected would be in the last update, but we see it here now, which is finally, well, again, an overhaul of the shop with more feedback this time to hopefully get rid of the confusing shop layout altogether finally. So these are some pretty important, like, quality of life changes, not massive content drop, but just fixing the lighting, going over the progression again, and getting a better shop, which is really nice. Now, we don't know how long this is. They've removed that, as they said, because they don't know exactly. And once again, don't get your, if you aren't satisfied with everything that's here, you need to keep in mind that at the bottom here, let me go over this right now, releasing separately as soon as they're ready, Console, which obviously isn't even on here, Point Hope, which the cat is now finally out of the bag. They have just fully admitted this, which I guess they pretty much already did anyway with all the Easter eggs. But Point Hope is the new lighthouse map, which further down the line, by the way, in this dev preview, there will be a little bit more information about Point Hope with actual pictures as well, by the way. Get ready. Map reworks, which is cool. Other new maps, bug fixes, and performance improvements. So they're actually planning to add the lighthouse as well as other new maps whenever they're ready. And they have a pretty beefy team right now. Some of the people on the team are pretty much always working on new maps, which is super cool. So we should be seeing these like drop here and there. And then so now we've got to go back here just to make sure that you didn't forget about that. Version 0.10 plus like 0.10.1, 0.2, 0.3, etc. That's why this plus is here. New tasks, new optionals. So they're planning to add more gameplay options to the game, which is super cool because as someone, especially this update is really exciting to me. Let me continue reading here. Rewards changes, which, I mean, I guess higher or lower rewards. Don't exactly know how that's going to work. Photo overhaul and video evidence. Look at these. And then a new equipment sound recorder. So they're planning to pretty much completely overhaul the like secondary things you can do in a contract. So when I first started playing this game, or at least after I started getting pretty good at the game, taking photos was like my favorite mechanic in the game. It was super fun for me to like try and min-max and get the best photos to try and get massive rewards at the end of a mission, because when the game, like in the first year, photos were pretty much like half the money you would earn from a contract was just based on how well the photos you took, how well the photos were that you took. However, since the update, the Ascension update, they have removed the photos out of the multiplier. So now if you are playing on Nightmare mode or something, you no longer get your photo money multiplied by the Nightmare difficulty. You only get the perfect game reward bonus multiplied, which has made it much less fun for me and much less important to take a lot of photos. So I really hope that this brings back that love for me of taking photos and trying to like really do a perfect ghost hunt with new tasks, new optionals, photo overhaul, which is also going to include deleting photos. Finally, holy heck, we've been waiting for that for so fucking long. And then video evidence, which they really need to nail this on the head, because if they just replace photos with a video version of it, that would be much more passive, right? Because you can't like I mean, unless they change all the interactions, but let's say there's something that gets thrown by the ghost. If you didn't already had your video camera placed and pointed at that interaction, you would miss that completely and you would not be able to take a photo. I guess you could maybe still take a photo. I don't know. So this requires some more detail, like how they're going to do this, because I really hope that it's not going to be a completely passive system where you just place some video cams and then that's how you get evidence. And if you didn't have them placed, you didn't get anything. I hope they're still going to be, oh, the ghost did this, let me take a photo of that. Or the ghost did that, let me now place a camera here because I know it's going to do this in a few seconds or something like that. I don't know. And then the new equipment here, sound recorder, is also super exciting. Like a paramic. It's so weird that the paramic, when you get like a creepy whisper through the paramic, you can't record that and like give it as an evidence like, hey, listen to this insane ghost noise that I recorded. That's super cool. So yeah, this is a very exciting update for me as someone who just generally loves Phasmo and playing the game. I think these are very important upgrades. People will be like, where are the new maps? Where are the new ghosts? But this is far more important for me because it actually deepens the like gameplay experience for veteran players now, and also for new players. Honestly, just makes the game much more deep and cool. So yeah, here we go. And then the next one, version 0.11, new player. So this one is all about the customization, new player models. So no more broken back fucking bullshit. New player animation, CCTV overhaul, which is interesting, and player customization. So this one is going to be all about giving more professional look to the player models, as well as customization, which is probably going to mean that at that point, prestiging is actually going to mean something. You're going to get like new cosmetics that you will unlock by prestiging that you will then be able to use on your character, which is super cool. So yeah, that is these are all focused on like deepening the gameplay experience, and you have to keep in mind that the additional content, which when I first glanced at this, I was like, where are the new maps, where's the new stuff, but then you can see that down below here. And then we have a 1.0 full release, which I asked CJ specifically, is there something missing here between version 0.11 and full release? No. 0.11 is going to be the last update before full release. However, as they already said before, beyond full release, there will be 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, etc., etc. So they're not done when full release happens. It's just that they're going to go out of early access. So full release here, this is Horror 2.0. That's actually what CJ also clarified. New ghost models, hunt overhaul, hallucinations, event overhaul, new interactions, and much more. So this is going to be all about the horror 2.0 that I've been talking about for so long now. Especially the ghost events, that the ghosts are still just standing still and doing nothing sometimes. Feels very strange that they've never updated that. I'm assuming in this, they didn't put it here specifically. There's also going to be a new death animation, because the death animation right now is so silly. You get teleported to a dirt hole where the ghost is like doing a little silly little dance, and like the hands grab you, the magical hands that come on your screen. Like that needs an update as well. So yeah, new ghost model, super cool. Hunt overhaul, which they've kind of... So this is speculation. This is just like hearsay from the devs here and there. But one of the things that they said, for example, is that they wanted to try out like a vision cone for the ghost, so that if the ghost is looking to like away from you, you can like sneak behind it to get to a hiding spot, and then if it turns around, it might see you, but it doesn't just have like omnivision where, oh, it saw you in the back of its head, it immediately detected you and ran to you. So that could be a change, which they obviously have to do that very well, because hunts, you can already pretty much survive every hunt if you're a professional player right now. So if they make it even easier, that could be dangerous. But anyway, hallucination, super cool, which like they said time and time again, whenever I complain about the Yurei being absolute terrible, they said like, well, once we add some kind of like sanity or insanity mechanic or hallucination where like the more crazy you are, the more weird things start happening, the Yurei will get a really cool ability, which they've never said what that would be or if that would be exactly what they add, but that's something that we might expect from hallucination. So that's super, super cool. And then events overall, obviously just new, better, and different events, new interactions. All this stuff is super, super cool. The Horror 2.0 that we've all been loving, all been waiting for. And then here are new maps and bug fixes and everything. So yeah, the super exciting stuff, and actually like full-on teasing full release, which we obviously don't know if that's going to be 2024, probably going to be beyond. But anyway, now that we have taken a glance at that, a pretty extensive glance at that, let's go through these extra points here. Console update. Let's see this. As many of you know, console was delayed from last year's predicted release date due to several reasons. We're still hard at work trying to get this ready for your eager console players, and it'll arrive as soon as it is ready. So they've just been having a lot of issues with consoles. Consoles has a lot of restrictions. You can't just upload a game on console. It has to have like certain FPS requirements, certain like all kinds of checks have to be done, and if you don't adhere to those checks, you just have to try again. So it's just like there's just a lot of requirements here that they probably took longer than they expected, or that's exactly what I assume. On the other hand, with the delay comes extra changes for console players on day one. The new and improved upcoming shop experience, the upcoming adjustments to the leveling and equipment tiers, as well as minor balance changes. This will all result in console players getting the best experience as soon as they receive the game, instead of large portions of gameplay and progressions changing just after it releases, I see. Additionally, when it is released, console players will receive a game that looks and runs better. We plan to implement a large amount of optimizations across the boards, which will allow us to keep the game's graphical quality as close to PC as possible. So this is actually, if you're running this on a low-end system or just in general like optimizations, this is going to be really good for you, because they've had to do a lot of optimizations, such as the whole Maple rework was mostly just an optimization pass for that map, because it was by far the most demanding map in the game because of all the open areas. They had to rework that map, which if you're a fan of that rework or just the optimizations in general, the console update delay is just like they're adding more optimizations, which is nice. And then here, this is what I'm super excited to share. Point Hope, which is the new map that they have now officially announced here and are adding information on. The next long-awaited location for Phasmophobia will soon be upon us. Point Hope lighthouse. So that is a lighthouse map, finally, that people have been waiting for. As many of you avid ghost hunters deciphered our clues last year, exactly like us, we thought it was time to give you a sneak peek into how the new location looks. We originally planned for the lighthouse to come out sooner, but since hiring our first concept artist, Zach, which by the way has been doing an insane job, I've heard from CJ, so Zach has been crazy, we thought it was best to spend a little extra time at making this unique location look extra special. Since then, CJ and Skinner have been hard at work to bring the newly created concepts to life, which by the way, Skinner, also another artist on the team. I know you guys see mostly CJ, and obviously everyone knows DK and Lavender as well, because we play with CJ and Lavender quite often, but Zach and Skinner have also been absolutely killing it, so don't forget about the rest of the team. Not only does Point Hope feature a new visual theme, but it also offers a widely different gameplay experience similar to the campsites. As it is a lighthouse, the rooms are circular and encompass a whole floor. This allows us to create several looping spots and plan hiding spots near or far from the staircase, forcing players to make a quick decision while running from a paranormal attacker. Below, you see the maintenance room. As it's near the top of the lighthouse, it is quite cramped compared to the living room down at the bottom. The confined spaces makes for an intensely personal ghost room, not leaving much room for a breather without traversing a staircase. So let's take a look at this. We got the workshop, and so this is what they're gonna look like. I was always so curious how a lighthouse map would look like, because like some traditional lighthouses look like just one staircase going up and then one like light at the top and then maybe like a house next to the lighthouse, and I was like, how are they gonna make that interesting by doing this? So the whole lighthouse has rooms going up the lighthouse, as well as it probably being on a tiny island, like with maybe some outside rooms, which could be super cool. So yeah, we see oh, I was thinking, is that blood note? That's literally paint this time, just a bucket of paint. Where's their hiding spots? We see lockers right there, that's a hiding spot. We see this type of blocker, so if you're running from the ghost, you can then run down the stairs. There's a blockage here, blockage there, which kind of like blocks the line of sight of the ghost potentially, so you can safely make it down the stairs. I mean, obviously you got these lockers right here, which might be hard to get to with this thing right here if you don't have your flashlight or the light is on. So yeah, super cool little sneak peek, and I know there's more sneak peeks, by the way. Yeah, here next is the main bathroom. It's been refurbished by the newest owners of the lighthouse, but some of the work was not quite finished. A central bathtub with a wooden divider makes for a great looping spot, and the ghost has plenty of toilet roll to throw around while you hunt for evidence. This actually seems like a terrifying looping spot. I mean, you know Psycho is gonna do it perfectly on the first try, but this seems kind of scary. Maybe if you can crouch behind the bathroom. By the way, they're gonna get rid of crouch running at some point, so don't count on it too much. But yeah, this could be a looping spot right here, or just breaking line of sight. I don't know if there is anything behind here. And then you can see that the tiling isn't quite done. There's literally a toilet roll on the floor. That's actually a nice aesthetic. They haven't fully finished the bathroom. We can't see the whole room, but obviously we got the bathtub right there. I'm assuming stairs on either of these sides, and I'm assuming some more. I don't know. This is a pretty large room. I'm assuming they haven't done the full decoration over here in this room, this side of the room. But yeah, obviously sink. And I don't see the toilet rolls right now, but I'm assuming they're gonna add those, as they said in the post. So yeah, super cool. Farmhouse reworks. Wait, they're gonna touch Bleestill, my OG map. Looking a little further ahead, Zek has been hard at work with the next two reworks. Bleestill and Grafton, do not touch the attic. Please keep the attic as large and terrifying as it is. That is probably my most nostalgic map or room in the entire game, is the Bleestill attic. Some of my most watched videos were when I first started playing the game, and I had attic ghosts and Bleestill back when the game was super clunky and kind of fucked up and no one knew what they were doing. We had some ghost hunt like 50 times from the Bleestill attic, and it was some of the most terrifying experiences that I've ever had in this game, and I would be ashamed to lose the Bleestill attic, but I'm assuming they not gonna change like the whole feel of the map. We found that while the farmhouses make for good locations, they're incredibly similar visually and in layout. Well, I would say the same about all the street house maps. I would honestly say that having two farmhouse maps that are similar to each other, while completely different from any other map in the game. I know people don't like the farmhouses very much, but I think that they're super unique. Like, they have a very own personality. We want to push them further apart by giving each farmhouse its own identity and theme. Okay, so they're changing them compared to each other, which there's only 2 of them. Both farmhouses will receive a reasonably sized layout adjustment with a focus on making the buildings feel more authentic. This means fewer bedrooms, bathrooms, and more rooms with purpose for the family that may have lived there. I see. Oh, look at this art, this concept art. The twin bedroom has been converted into a large seamstress workshop full of old mannequins, rolls, and cloth fabric, and drawings scattered amongst the floor. The many clothes rails scattered amongst the floor make great hiding spots and areas to loop the ghost. Just don't look the mannequins in the eye. Okay, so if you get this as a ghost room, this is something that a lot of people only find out like after maybe even 100 hours of playing this game. But if a ghost is in a room where there's a mannequin, it can randomly teleport that mannequin to some locations in the map. So if there's going to be one room with a lot of mannequins, if the ghost is in that room, it's just going to teleport those mannequins all around the building and just put them in really creepy locations, which is super cool. So yeah, look at this right here. Concept art from Assuming Zek. We have several. This is a different type of mannequin. We have the OG mannequins we know, and then right here, this is going to be a whole different room. I actually like that because there's so many bedrooms and bathrooms. They set that well. So having some like actual like living rooms and offices would be sick. These two will receive the opposite treatment. So this is for Grafton. These two will receive the opposite treatment. As it is such a large building, we wanted to nudge it closer to the grand mansion-style house it had once been. Rooms will be ornate and cluttered with statues and expensive belongings. Some rooms have been repurposed, with one bedroom now becoming the owner's collectible room, filled with rare objects from his travels, guns, cultural trinkets, and memorabilia, filling glass cases. Another bedroom has been converted into the wife's tea room, adorned with dollies, like dolls, blades painted with cute animals, and lots of pink. Lastly, the attic has had quite the overhaul. The staircase has been moved and... Wait, okay. This is where I'm scared. Lastly, the attic has had quite the overhaul. The staircase has been moved, and the room itself has been split in 2 parts. No! I'm so mad. Oh, CJ. Okay, I mean, it's gonna be more personal, but I'm gonna forever miss the old attic. The first half is the attic storage crammed to the brim with, because I find it's such a unique room. Like, it's you like think, oh, this is a very large house, I've explored everything, and then you go up to the attic and you see the attic and you're like, what the hell is this room? I don't want to be here. This seems terrifying. And then you see something move across the room and you're like, oh no, this is the ghost room. I'm gonna have to go here with all my equipment. How the fuck am I gonna find anything? Which I know to a lot of people is like annoying, but for me it's like super immersive and super cool. But anyway, I'm not trying to be a downer. The first half is the attic storage cramped to the brim with barely stable boxes, old furniture, and dusty memories. The second half has been inhabited by the couple's granddaughter, a girl that loves the unknown. Her self-converted bedroom is covered with witchy belongings, suspiciously haunting books, and dream catchers. So this is, oh, we got like animals or like vivariums or whatever you call them, but like insects and stuff. We have a little storage spot there, maybe, which could be a hiding spot. Open a little door, hide in there while the ghost is running around. So yeah, way more details added to these maps, and like more personality overhaul, which is or overall, which is gonna be super cool. The first update from the roadmap will be next week. Excuse me? When we remove the holiday event and we'll include the lighting changes, new eye adaptation, and global illumination setting. I had no idea. Next week, maybe? We got a big update coming. Let's go. That's it for Development Preview 16. We'll catch you soon, or catch you with some more teasers soon. That is super exciting. So yeah, very, very exciting stuff. Let me know what you think. Once again, this is the roadmap that they plan. Keep in mind, it is beyond, so not just 2024. They haven't given any exact dates, except the one next week when the holiday event gets removed, which, by the way, let me once again remind you that you should do the holiday event right now. They've actually extended it, apparently, because they already said that it would be finished at this point. So make sure to do the holiday event so you don't miss out on the trophy, even though it can take a while. You want to collect all those trophies. So yeah, super exciting. All kinds of new gameplay changes, new ghost models, Horror 2.0, the lighting change that has been long awaited. So super exciting stuff. Let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed. I'm excited to play some Phasmo, the new updates very soon. I hope you enjoyed. If you're not subscribed, please do so. If you like the video, like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. And if you want to join the live streams, you can join us over at twitch.tv/insym or click the link in the description down below. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.